It's the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves Coaches Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, joined by Thunderwolves head coach Philip Vigil.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome.
It's a little.
Yeah, you just jumped right in there on me, or what?
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay, geez.
I was like, it's quiet.
Welcome to the Phil Vigil Show here on Fox Sports Pueblo. Brought to you by Rustler Implement, Southern Colorado's tractor headquarters, especially on Case IH, Kubota, and New Holland. Come visit them at both locations, out on the Mesa, of course, here in Pueblo, plus their Rocky Ford location, the title sponsor of the Phil Vigil Show. We're on a night earlier this week because it's travel week. So we have to go to South Dakota Mines on Thursday is when the team is going to travel. Phil, you're going to leave, what, tomorrow about 3?
Yes, sir.
So you're going to go all the way through, or you're staying somewhere in the middle of Wyoming?
Yeah, we're actually gonna stay in City, Nebraska, where we
Okay.
had the bus breakdown on the way back from Chattering. So we're gonna stop in Denver, get some food for
We're
dinner.
not picking up a bus in Sydney.
Hopefully not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hopefully we can stay on the same 2 buses there and back. No problems. That'd be fantastic.
So then you're going to stay there tomorrow
Stay
night
there.
and then go into Rapid City, a different hotel on Friday night? Or
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
So we're gonna stay there. We're gonna do our walkthrough Friday morning. Go to Mount Rushmore on Friday. Let some of the guys see
Okay.
Mount Rushmore, and then we'll head to Rapid City.
You know, we had hoped to do that, but, you know, Ben's our itinerary guy, and he couldn't get Dr. Plinsky out of the office in time.
Well,
for us
Ben's
to
got a
see
lead foot, so.
Mount Rushmore. He does have a lead foot.
And a twitch.
And he's
Oh, we
It's
know
like
that
a roller
about that
coaster.
on bus 1, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we got to introduce our guest tonight, Jim.
Yes, go ahead.
Because
and do that, Joe.
we got to jump in with Cody's probably seen Mount Rushmore already with the team, right? Cody Ramig, defensive end, and Sinan Chappell from Texas, who's a true freshman, starting on the offensive line. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Fort Worth, Texas, the pride of Fort Worth is where Sinan's from.
What this trip? This will be your first trip to Black Hills. Have you seen Mount Rushmore yet?
I've never been.
Wait, hold on. Let's turn you up here. Now do it. There you go.
I've never been to Mount Rushmore or South Dakota or nowhere in the middle.
Had you ever been to Colorado before?
I have not.
Well, and he starts in Pueblo now, so there you go. Are you looking forward to it?
I am looking forward to it. I'm very excited.
Now, Cody, that's probably an old hat for you. Get the stop at Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah, my biggest thing about going to Mount Rushmore is the ice cream shop.
Of
that's
course.
there. It's phenomenal ice cream there.
Good soft serve there.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful stuff. That is for sure.
We had our leadership council meeting on Monday, and the only thing that he requested was we had enough time to stop and eat ice cream at Mount Rushmore. So
Well, that's why you're on the leadership council, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For important factors like that.
Yeah,
Uniform
snacks.
choice, ice cream stops.
Yep.
he's a
Okay.
man of the people.
Man of the people.
Well, Phil, let's get right to it. This Mesa ball game, you said, what was the quote you said? Play with emotion, don't be emotional.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were a little emotional a couple times down there on that sideline. What was up?
I'm just trying to protect my guys. You know, I keep it pretty calm and collected for the most part
That quote went out with the kickoff.
until we had some.
Had some issues, didn't we?
We had some issues.
Oh, that's awesome. But it was a great win against a quality opponent, which is always good. And you guys, Coach, you had to feel good about what you saw from your team from the jump.
Yeah, I think, obviously you don't beat a team like that unless all 3 phases are playing really well, and offense, defense, special teams, everybody came to play on Saturday. And I think, to be honest with you, the thing that kind of lit the fire underneath us a little bit was that hit on Chance.
Sure.
And when that happened, we, as we say in our team room, Fred Flintstone that thing and mashed the pedal through the floor, and that kind of lit a fire under the guys, and from then on it was game on.
No, that wasn't your guy, was it, Sinan? The guy that hit Chance?
Oh, it was not my guy.
Okay,
It was
just
on the
make-
other side of the field.
All right, just making sure.
Well, it was a former Thunderwolf brother.
It was.
It's actually
It was,
who it was.
kind of funny. The name, Shongolo, Nor was a great linebacker here at CSU Pueblo, and Jim and I are looking. I was like, oh, man, this is getting
Oh, what
personal.
happened there? But it was, now we didn't see the hit. Now I'm sure you saw it on film or whatever, but, we just saw the result. Hey, there's a guy flopping around on the field down there. Oh, no, it's the
It's quarterback.
Yeah, we.
What happened on the play?
Well, it was a It was a zone read. What was it?
It was zone read.
So it was zone read, and Chance carried out his fake for about 2 hard steps, and slowed down, almost stopped, and was looking inside, and guy came from outside and hit him when he wasn't looking, and obviously we got the targeting foul, and that kind of lit a fire. At the very next play, Tyler TD, our tight end, we run a split zone look and hand the ball off, and he just comes and annihilates the outside linebacker. And then the very next play, we throw a touchdown to Cookie, and from that moment on, really, it was downhill.
You challenged for the targeting. Did you see it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I did. That's one of those ones where I got a little hot.
All right.
So.
Yeah, because Jim and I were watching the play as it developed, and that was back behind the play, so we didn't see the actual hit.
Yeah.
You were ready to go out and engage, weren't you? Did it like
He's
in
a
the
quarterback.
flashbacks? Man, I'd like to go and just hit somebody.
It lit a fire in a bunch of us, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Coaches, players, everybody.
Well, the good thing is that Chance got up and he played just doing his thing.
Yeah.
I mean, every game now, since that first half against Western Colorado, he's gone crazy.
Yeah, he's done a
When
great.
he was a little, that little ding in the hand or whatever, and ever since then, after halftime, you guys gave him a little feel-good juice in his hand or something, and now he feels great.
I guess so.
Give me some of that. I got an elbow issue.
No doubt. No, he's done a good job, and I think a lot of that has to do with the emergence of our run game, and how well we've been able to run the football the last 6 weeks. And then, one of our keys to victory on Saturday was, dominate the line of scrimmage, and that's being able to run the football and protecting the quarterback. They were tied for first with us going into that game with sacks, and we didn't give up 1 sack, and we rushed for 200 yards. And when you're able to do that and hand the ball off to Keon and Howard and those guys, and they're able to make some people miss, it makes the pass game a lot easier. And not only that, but our receivers and tight ends and Chance are all on the same page right now. And as the season goes on, the more in sync you get, and the better you look. And so they're doing a really good job of being on the same page and completing the football.
Well, before we progress here, Aaron Kinnischtzke, our producer and engineer, he played at Adams State, actually. He played with Nor's brother and the other guy from Mesa's brother. I can't remember. What was his first name?
Julius Carter?
No, the other Shangolo for.
Oh, I
Mesa.
don't remember his first
But Aaron played with the brother Abdi at Adams State. So there's 3 brothers. And, of course, I've told the story about Nor. Now, Phil, here's one. I'm at a CU Denver campus. My boy's going to get married the next day, so I get out. And this woman, we watch fall. She hits her head, and she's bleeding profusely. Goodness. So me and this lady go over there, and we're attending to her. And she feels like she's going to die, and she's worried about her dog. And the cops finally show up on the scene. And the first cop there, I look on his badge. It's Shangolo. I go, Nor? He goes, yeah, who are you?
Oh, my God.
I go, radio guy. He goes, oh, that's right. So there we're chatting, laughing it up. Poor lady sitting there.
And she's bleeding out, but
oh, my God.
Jim's reminiscing
but
about
everybody else took
pack
credit to it.
football.
But Nor and I had a moment there, so it was just kind of funny that it turned out to be a Shangolo that I'm sure, targeting sometimes, Phil, I mean, it's right on the edge, isn't it?
It can be.
The way,
It definitely
but
can
that
be.
one you didn't feel like it was, huh?
I did not.
Yeah, okay. So it turned out, and as the game wore on, there was no love lost between either team in that game, was there? It just seemed like it ratcheted up from there on out, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And again, we talk about playing with emotion is great. Playing emotional is going to get you beat, and to be honest with you, for about 99% of that game, I thought we did a really good job of playing with emotion, but not emotional. And so, again, there's some things we got to correct. There's some things we got to get better at, and we will continue to work on those things. But really, overall, just really proud of our team and our effort, and on all 3 phases. We were able to do what we needed to do from our keys of victory to get that thing done. We had to pressure the quarterback. We had 6 sacks and 14 hurries on Saturday. Cody had 3 of them.
Player of the week?
Yeah.
How about that?
I think Joe might have mentioned we need to get Cody off here, get him start, get some sacks,
I
and then
actually,
boom, the next play.
Yeah, because I saw you were just close on a couple, and it was sort of like anybody who's opposite Scipio is going to feast because he scares people.
Oh, yeah.
He does. He scares them away, and you're just standing right there. But I mean, it seemed like you guys had wore them down a little bit on their offensive front, and in the second half, it was just a feast.
Yeah. We knew going into the game that they started off the game really hot, and then as the game went on, they started to not necessarily give up, but not produce as well as they would in the first half, and we were ready to take advantage of that. Like you said, people game plan for SIP, and everybody else on the other edge is ready to go, ready for the play.
Well, and Cody's from Columbine, which is there's about 5 schools that have been feeder schools to CSU Pueblo through the years, and Columbine's been one of those stalwart schools that has just kind of fed the pipeline.
Oh, yeah.
You knew about CSU Pueblo when you were at Columbine.
Yeah, actually at my commitment ceremony when I committed back when I was a senior in high school, my athletic director called it Columbine South
Yes.
University. So, yeah.
Did you play? Was Andy Lowry there
yeah.
for you? So yeah, you played for Andy and the McDonald's.
Yes.
They're pretty good players at CSU Pueblo from Columbine. So
Good lineage. Now, Phyllis, this game kind of turned on its head there late in the first half, didn't it? It was kind of a tight game. Looked like they were going to go on in, perhaps, score to make it a really tight game. You held them to a field goal, and then, boom, you get the kickoff return, get a turnover, get another all of a sudden it's 38-13 at halftime when it looked like it might be 24-17 there for a little bit.
Yeah, those middle 2 quarters and closing out the first half and starting the third quarter were huge for us. We talked about that on Monday, and how important that finish was and that start was, because you're exactly right. We go down and score, they come back and answer, and they get 3 points, and then Moose does an unbelievable job of hitting that thing right down the middle. He got the corner, and it was over with. And then, they really had, I think they got the ball back with like a minute 30 or something left in the half. And you have one of 2 options there. You can either, let's try to complete a ball, see if we can get down the field, and if we do, then great. If we don't, we'll hand it off the next play, and we'll run out the clock and go into halftime. Well, he scrambles, strip sack. That was you. And Gary picks it up, and shoot, we go right back down the field and score to close out the half. The beautiful thing about that was Moose ran that thing back for a touchdown and then was back on kickoff and almost made the tackle on the very next kickoff. So it was awesome to see. And then coming out in the third quarter, again, same thing. We got the ball in the third quarter, starting the third quarter, and we go right down the field and score another touchdown. And again, I think that was, that probably, 8 minutes of play or whatever that was, maybe even less than that, probably did a lot in deciding the game.
Yeah, turned the potential for a tight game into a blowout.
Yeah, it went from potentially uncomfortable, to cozy.
Yes.
It was cozy after that. It was like, okay, we're on cruise control. Now, Jim mentioned Moose also for his kick return. Sneaky fast.
Very.
Faster than a lot of people might know that he's that fast.
He can go now.
Yeah.
He actually does track and field here at CSU Pueblo as well, but he's a thrower.
Of course.
What?
Yes.
Of course.
He's a thrower. He's a thrower. He's a little bit untraditional with his stature and throwing it, but that's how explosive he is. He's a very explosive athlete, and I don't know if there's a better kid. I mean, just unbelievable every single day. Goes to work, has a great attitude with a smile on his face, and I'm glad he's part of the pack.
I can sense he should be a decathlete then.
He probably could. He's a great athlete.
That's what I'm saying. If he's a thrower already,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough thing for a fast guy.
Yeah.
So if he's got the speed, which is a natural gift.
Do we have the decathlete here? Is that
I don't know.
Well, let's get Matt Morris.
Get Matt
on the
Morris
phone.
on the
Aaron,
phone.
Get him on the phone. We'll put him in here. Let's find out there. But man, that return was incredible. You can see him getting to the edge, but Phil, I'm thinking he's going to run out of real estate at about the 40, and all of a sudden he just somehow stays in bounds, and then extra gear.
Yeah. We say the moose gets loose, and that's kind of what we talk about all the time. And he's extremely productive. Every time he's in the game, he finds a way to make an impact. And kid's a freshman, so it's exciting. I'm excited for him.
And the kicker wanted no part of him.
Yeah, they usually don't.
No. He wanted no. I think he took a bad angle on purpose because he had wanted no part of it.
I don't think he took a bad angle. I think he just outran him.
No, I do too, and that's what
It
Jim and I
became
said.
a bad angle.
It did.
Because on the
turned into a bad
replay,
angle
he
there.
just beat him to the spot and then just kept going.
Yep.
Well, and Joe we've mentioned the pressure on the quarterback, I think, for I don't know how many weeks in a row now. I know at Shattern it was incredible, the pressure, and this seemed like he just carried on to another level against Mesa. I mean, it just can't breathe back there. It makes it tough.
It's the line, again, just challenge them every week to dominate the line of scrimmage, and that's stopping the run and pressuring the quarterback, and we've done a really good job of that, and to be honest with you, outside of a couple scrambles on Saturday, we probably kept them under 100 yards rushing again, and so it was really good to see these guys just, again, focus on the process, focus on getting better every single day, every single week, and I think they're leaning into that, and I think it's showing with how we're progressing as the season has gone on.
Yeah, Cody, talk a little bit about the rotation you guys have. I mean, it's fresh guys in, fresh guys out. It seems like that is just it seems like it's gotten a lot better in how it's done as you progress, just by playing together a lot more with the new system. But it seems like that rotation now is just keeping everybody ready.
Yeah, going into the season, I know that we wanted to just keep rotating guys in. There we go. I know we wanted to keep rotating guys in and keep people fresh because we knew we were going to get hurry-up offenses, and we have bigger guys at the D-line, so tend to run out of steam sometimes, and just getting fresher guys in there will have a better chance of getting to the quarterback.
Fresher is right. I mean, you guys substitute in waves, and it seems like you never get worn out, do you?
No.
And not afraid to go, hey, come get me, and then somebody else comes in.
Yeah, we complete trust in our backups, knowing that they'll get the job done just as well as we'll get the job done, and it definitely helps that all of spring ball and all of fall camp we were going up against this offense who puts the ball down immediately and gets a play off in half a second, it feels like sometimes. So that definitely got us conditioned and got us ready to go for the season.
Does Finney ever get tired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he does.
We had to pick out one guy, right?
Well,
that's because he's not here.
I just love to watch when Jim and I get to the games early, so we have a lot of time because we tend to look at warm-ups and how guys warm up. Coach when he's on the road, these guys all have their way of, and then we look at players, and I see Finney doing push-ups and leg lifts, and I go, is he just doing it because he's bored, or is this a way to get loose, or he's a little different anyway.
He's crazy.
Yeah, he's a little touched in the head, and so I just kind of wonder where he's at sometimes up there.
He has his own process of getting himself ready for games, and we kind of just let him do it.
There you go.
We know he'll be there.
Leave that guy alone.
Yep.
Let him be that guy. Well, we're going to be that guy here for the rest of the evening. Come on out and join us if you're cruising around. It is all-you-can-eat wing night here, and we got a big spread here. My wife and I had a pizza on Saturday night, Victory Pizza. We came on over here, and we had a big old giant sausage and pepperoni.
There you go.
We ate it for 2 days.
Yeah,
the pizzas, I won't mention the pizza joint here in town, but, famous.
Okay.
Their pizzas are about like that.
Right.
Well, the ThunderZone's about three times the size.
If you leave here hungry, it's your own fault.
Now, there's no problem with the flavor of that other pizza I'm talking about, but, come on, let's up the ante a little bit.
Sure.
All right, ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House, Phil Vigil Show, brought to you by Rustler Implement. Back with more right after this on Fox Sports Pueblo.
It's the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves Coaches Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, joined by Thunderwolves head coach Philip Vigil.
And welcome back, ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. All you can eat wing night here tonight on the Phil Vigil Show. Brought to you by Rustler Implement. They're Southern Colorado's tractor headquarters. They're specializing in Case IH, Kubota, and New Holland. Come visit them at both locations. They're out on the Mesa here in Pueblo, of course, plus their Rocky Ford location.
They said they'll be back next week.
Well, they're Thursday kind of people.
They are Thursday kind of, Sunday kind of like, but Thursday the Rustlers and the whole Nushi, the whole group of. Now you can get on them. These are your boys. So they're not here tonight. So if you want to send them a note,
I didn't tell them that we moved it. It's my fault. It wasn't high on the priority list, unfortunately, today, and I forgot.
Well, I did a blast today on all my social media.
I sent mine out. Well, I sent mine out yesterday even, and I got correct.
But there's going to be some people. There's going to be some people here tomorrow night. Just show up, and go, where's the show?
But they'll eat.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully they do.
And it's fight night on Thursday, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, so they can get right to it.
Yeah.
And they won't have a distraction over here.
No, they just start drinking.
Is that what they'll do?
Just start drinking.
All right. Well, Cody Ramming is our guest tonight. Now, Cody, he's out of Columbine High School. Now, you got another year still, right? You're on the COVID train, right? So you're in your 5th year this year?
Honestly, I've lost count at this
point.
Lost
count, so,
Are you 30 yet?
No, not yet. Turning 23 in about
Okay, so
Sunday.
So we measure years in Chance Fuller years. So
yeah.
You're not Chance Fuller yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, and then Sinon Chapel, our other guest. Now you're not on the COVID train. You're thrown right into the fire. True freshman. Now, when you showed up here on campus, did you think, there was a chance you're going to get right in there and play, or do you think you're going to be a red shirt, or what was the thought process?
To be honest, my mindset was just to get better each day, and as the time came, I was going to make the most of it. But just to grind with my brothers in the summer and just to be the best version I can be.
Well, the best
Come
version
on,
you can be is
that's the coach speak.
yeah, it's good enough to get
Did
out
you
there on
think
the
you were
field.
going to come in here and kick somebody's ass right away and play right away?
It was in the back of my
All
mind.
right, yeah.
There we go.
Come on, that's how you ask that. You thought you were going to go after it right away.
Well, I've talked about it all year. It seems like this offensive line, it's different than years past. It's kind of a hit first offensive line instead of, kind of absorb the contact and then, hope to hold on and keep the quarterback. You guys like to get that first shot in, don't you? Like to kind of hit and then stun them a little bit, and then it's easier to handle them, isn't it?
Yes, sir. We like to hit them right off the bat. Our motto is to play fast and to play physical. And in fall camp, our culture was established to just play hard for 60 minutes, and eventually the other team will give up. And that's when we just keep the foot on the gas and just finish dudes.
Well, sometimes the running game works that way, doesn't it? It doesn't always flow early, but as the game wears on, if you're doing your job, then you see the results of it in the third and fourth quarter.
Yes, sir. That's correct. And other teams get tired with our tempo, and that's when we thrive. And then we just start to run up the score, run up the rushing yards, and then just see this team have success.
Now, coaches like to bring in freshmen, and usually when they want to redshirt them or filter them in, it's because they want them to get bigger, stronger. Did you feel right away? Did you know right away when you were on campus early in fall that, okay, I'm physically capable of playing at this level now?
To be honest, my first few days of practice were pretty eye-opening from a physical standpoint. But once I got that down and stayed in the weight room, I saw myself start to hold up against the ones and our 1D tackles, and that's how I found out that I was ready to play at this level.
Well, Sinan was thrown into the fire a little bit too. I think it goes without saying, but the big thing for him and even Tyler, our left tackle, that starting as a true freshman, both those guys were here in the summer, and they were here pretty much all summer and working out with the team, understanding. It's hard. It's hard to come in fall camp, learn an offense, get from a physical standpoint the physicality of the game and all those things, and be ready to play. And so I think a huge thing for them was being able to come in the summer, get acclimated to our culture, get acclimated to the playbook, understand what we're doing offensively, obviously get in the weight room and running and all those things. And, we can't, as coaches, we can't be there in the summer. We can't watch them work out, all that kind of stuff. And so Coach Harris, our director of sports performance, as guys were showing up in the summer, freshmen and things like that, he's like, there's certain guys that he would text the group about, like, this guy right here, watch out, this guy. And Sinan was one of them, and so I think the best thing about, when we talk about being thrown to the fire, his first start, college start, Grand Valley State.
Right. That's all. There.
And at Grand Valley, and
right.
did not flinch, and did a great job that entire game, and was the highest graded offensive lineman that week. And so the future is very bright for Sinan, and he's a very, very athletic, smart, heady player. He does a really good job at the center position of, IDing our fronts and where we need to go and where we're going to slide our protection. And then, we had an injury last week that, we're finding a way to put our best 5 offensive linemen on the field and moved him to left tackle.
Was that just creative numbering, saying, okay, look, Sinan, we know you're a starter at center for the last 7 games, 8 games, 9 games. Go play left tackle now. Did that freak you out?
It kind of did.
Yeah.
Because my whole life I've been playing center. And
well, I made a call and I was watching you and I go, what is he doing at tackle? And I thought it was a different formation because I see you under center. Mm-hmm. I'm like, he's playing tackle.
It was pretty crazy. I actually didn't know until one day. I think it was last Wednesday in practice where Coach Graff was like, Sinan, you're going to go. And I kind of just looked at him for a little bit, but I was like, I got this. And then I immediately went to my playbook, my film, because from an assignment standpoint, center and left tackle are completely different.
Yeah,
so I had to flip the switch and just learn left tackle within 4 days to come out against Mesa and play my best game.
Chance is probably going, look, I come here, a graduate student. They got a true freshman blocking my side, my throwing side, left tackle now. Now I got another true freshman who's a center, taking the place of the freshman that was. Oh my God! But you did it,
sir.
Did a great job.
How does that feel? I mean, how does that feel confidence-wise? Say, look, I can play up and down this line. You play tight end, huh?
from a confidence standpoint, it helped me out a lot. And just understanding that within the first couple plays, I knew that I belonged out here. I knew I
Okay.
could hold my own at left tackle. Because at first, I was kind of like, just not fully, I'm not going to say not confident, but just kind of ready to feel things out and to see how it would hold up. But I knew after that first snap, I could do it. And just kept that momentum going on as the game progressed.
Okay, so where do you want to be now? What do you think you want to be going forward?
I want to be
Left tackle makes all the money.
Left tackle does make all the
That's
money.
right, you know.
I prefer to be at center, but I'll do whatever
Okay,
it
all right,
takes
all
for the
right.
team.
Just curious.
And this is the first time you've been on the show, and we've talked about the offensive line before, but Coach has talked about how making the right calls at center is, you can't, sometimes you take that for granted, and as with a true freshman, has that been an adjustment for you, or you feel comfortable doing that?
It was an adjustment coming in because in high school I didn't do anything like that. So I had to learn it really quick. And just with the other 4 guys on the line trusting me and knowing that I'll do my job so I can put them in the right position so we can have a great play, whether that's in pass or run.
Well, now, Cody, you don't have that problem. You just get out there and just say, hey, quarterback, eat quarterback, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's my main goal every game.
Now, is there any other times, though, when you talk about your defensive philosophy? Now, you probably have to stay at home a little bit, though, don't you? Or are you more or less a freelancer out there?
Oh no, I actually get yelled at every day in film for not like sitting at the tackle's hip when I need to.
Setting the edge.
Yep, setting the edge when I need to, and yeah, so that's still something that I'm working on. But yeah, I've loved pass rushing my whole life, and that's what I get excited about in the morning.
Do you guys ever go against each other?
We actually did last week in pack ball about one time.
And who got the better of it? Oh, he gives it up to the freshman.
I got him on a 1 pass rush. That was the only play though.
All right. Well, at least he's a stand-up guy and gives you that up.
I'm not gonna lie. I walked out there at left tackle and I'm like, oh, okay, let's go.
We had Corey on and he gave up nothing. Corey McClellan, so I give it up to Cody for doing that.
Well, Cody, when you came here, though, you're kind of a string bean.
Oh yeah.
Right? So now you've kind of grown into the body. Talk about the process of changing your body when you get here. Because if you don't have the body you have now coming out of high school, you're going somewhere else, and they've more or less developed you into, with your hard work plus some good teaching, to where you're at.
Yeah, so I actually got to college. I was 190, trying to play in a 3-4 defense, which had me head up on a tackle, and learned quickly that was not going to work, and got an unlimited meal plan and just basically sat in the calf all the time. I remember the first 2 fall camps I was here, I actually had to, during fall camp, I had to take a picture of my plate and during each meal and send it to my strength coach to let him know that like I was eating a ton of food and getting all the calories I needed. But yeah, just ever since I've been here, Coach Herm, he's just been telling me to Coach Herm's been telling me to just trust the process and keep with it, because he believed in me when times when I didn't even believe in myself, and just stayed in the weight room, stayed in the cafeteria, and still need some work in the weight room, but definitely making a lot of progress.
You know who else showed up here as a skinny defensive end, needed to eat, it was kind of a project, but played right away as a freshman, was a guy named Morgan Fox.
Right. Yep. You beat me to it, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy that's same boat, and now he's in the league.
Yeah.
And I remember Morgan and I became pretty good friends through the years, and I always told him after every game, after practice, every time I saw him, I said, one day you might turn out to be a pretty good football player. Yeah. So now when they show him on the TV or whatever, hey, one day you might be a pretty good player. He's LOL back. He's also the champion dog owner.
Yes, that's one of those
Westminster
little
Kennel Club.
French Bulldog.
Yes, he is. See, you like dogs too?
I do. Yeah.
French Bulldogs?
Yep. I actually, my dad watches that all dog show stuff, and I didn't know it. I was just sitting there not paying attention, and I saw that his dog won. Didn't know it was his dog.
Crazy,
and found out like an hour or 2 later. Yeah.
See?
That dog's worth some money now.
That's when you say, well, you know what? I gotta be like Morgan. I gotta do a dog thing now.
Yeah, I need to get a dog.
But the best part about Morgan Fox is he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the all-timers for us that I've ever had here, and I've covered this program since 2008.
Uh-huh.
And he's one of the greatest guys that's ever been through this program. So a guy to do that, show up skinny, work his way in, play in the league, has all this extra stuff, and he's still a great dude.
Yeah.
That's what we love about Pac football players.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a time out. We'll come back. We've got a few texts leaking in through here. That the late notice wasn't so late.
No,
People's
I
gotta pay
sent it out
attention.
yesterday.
I think I got to get a group text with all our texters
Just,
into the show.
just
here.
answer one of those Saturday morning texts.
Exactly.
Are you on?
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
You get the Saturday morning Go Pack text? Yeah. So
that's great.
there's I think I'm on 2 of them, and there's like 25 people on each one. So instantly, I love them. They're great.
I finally figured out a way to turn off the notifications. It's beautiful.
But
I don't
just
have to worry about
it's
it.
funny because
I do go back and read some of them, but
well,
yeah.
and your phone just keeps going off when people respond. You're like, okay, what?
All right,
Did somebody die?
We're going to get to those questions. If you've got one for the coach or the couple of players here as well, 719-671-7574. That's 671-7574. Text me a question. We'll get it to the coach or the players. Come back after this timeout. We are at ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It's all you can eat wing night here on Fox Sports Pueblo.
You are listening to CSU Pueblo.
It's the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves Coaches Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, joined by Thunderwolves head coach Philip Vigil.
And welcome back. ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. Phil Vigil Show. It's brought to you by Rustler Implement. They're Southern Colorado's tractor headquarters. They're specializing in Case IH, Kubota, and New Holland. Come out and visit them at both locations. One on the Mesa, of course, here in Pueblo, plus their Rocky Ford location. Title sponsor of the Phil Vigil Show. Okay, we got questions right away. Now, Mark and Carol didn't make it. I actually sent a text to Mark telling him, hey, it show's tonight, but he was probably doing something important like saving somebody's life.
Yeah, I mean, when you're an anesthesiologist,
Didn't want
texts
to pull
from Jim and Joe don't
took
really.
the mask off. What?
Yeah, they don't really rate
But,
very high. How long can he stay under? Just enough for the show.
Now, their question is, they're wondering about the targeting call, of course, on the Mesa player. And if at first they ran him off to the locker room, but I guess there's a new rule now that you don't have to stay put in the locker room. You can actually stay. Before, you had to go out, and they were referring to Tanner Draper, of course, who's assistant coach now at Mesa. When we were up at Black Hill State, I think it was, he got a targeting call and got ejected and had to leave, and he was ticked off because he couldn't even stay. He had to go sit in the locker room, which they rescinded. They went and reviewed his targeting call, and they took it away. But he was ticked that he couldn't stay on the sidelines. Is that something new this year?
Yeah.
You have to. You can stay, but
They've had it that way for the last, I think, 2 years where,
Okay.
at first it was like you get a targeting foul, you're going to prison.
The walk of shame.
Yeah.
You get the assistant strength coach walk you off, and everybody boos at you.
And you actually had to have a staff member with them initially in the locker room, and they kind of went back and reviewed that, and I obviously the targeting rule of foul, people have differing opinions on what that looks like in the game, but it has definitely made the game safer, and every single year the targeting fouls have gone less and less and less, and so I think it's great. I think it's great for the game. Keep these guys from the neck up healthy as we possibly can, and so he was able to come back on the field or at least on the sideline.
So that was different than your player.
Yeah, when you get ejected for a non-targeting foul, you have to
leave
be.
Okay.
okay. And I don't think they have anything.
I have
more
one
there.
other one.
Why don't you go with yours?
My
and
question, and it
gotta
might
go
lead
Charlie.
into our next segment a little
Okay.
bit, is going to South Dakota Mines, Charlie Floor. You have a relationship with the head coach. You both were at Northwest Missouri State together.
We were, yeah. In 2010, 2011, I was at Northwest Missouri State as a graduate assistant and coached the running backs, and he was the quarterbacks coach at that time. And so, know Charlie really well, know his family well. They're great people. He's done a really good job at South Dakota Mines and has got that program doing things it hasn't done in a very, very long time. And that's just attributed to him and his leadership and the culture that he's established there.
How did you end up as a grad assistant there?
It's a great question. So when I got done playing, my first coaching job was at Colorado School of Mines.
Okay.
My brother had played at Mines and walked into Coach Stitt's office and asked him if he had anything. He said no, and so I volunteered full time at Colorado School of Mines for that fall, and he hired me on that spring as a restricted earnings coach. The offensive line coach at Colorado School of Mines at that time was Chad Bostwick, Chad's brother Scott was the defensive coordinator at Northwest Missouri State for 17 years, and so they had an opening for a graduate assistant. They had just gotten done playing for 5 straight national championships, Hall of Fame head coach, and said, "Is this something you'd be interested in?" And I said, "Absolutely." And so got to see, very similar to what Charlie was involved with there, how culture at an elite level looks and what it looks like, and how it's about the team. And for us, it's about the pack and putting yourself aside for the pack, and a belief. There was a certain belief that I believe we have here, that no matter what the score is, no matter what we're down, somebody's going to make a play and we're going to win this football game. And so it's a pretty special thing to be a part of, for sure. And yeah, it was awesome.
All right, Uncle Charlie checking in. He's listening in tonight. He's down there in Texas. It's a good place. He wants to know, Phil, how coaching this great bunch of young men compared to your previous coaching jobs.
Well, every team is different. We talk about every team has a 1-year lifespan, and that's really what it is. And so there's certain things that you love about certain teams. I love how much this team loves each other. I love how this team has committed to the process of getting better right now and controlling right now and not worrying about anything else than being the best they can be right now. And so because of that, we've gotten better every week. And I think we've leaned into our connectivity and leaning into each other, and I think we've developed some really good bonds on this team that transcend football, and obviously as a football coach, it's my job to win football games, to keep my job, but I know ultimately it's my job to build men, and part of that is developing relationships, deep-rooted relationships with your teammates and with your coaches. And so I've been very, very, very happy with this group, and I think that's probably been my favorite thing. I love getting to come to work every single day and deal with these young men like these guys and my staff, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, let's throw that to the players too. Senan, this is your first ever college experience.
Yes,
Has it been everything you thought it'd be? Has it been more?
I feel like it's been more coming in. I didn't know what to expect, honestly, but just like the brotherhood and everybody taking me in, and like the bonds I've created with people on offense and defense as well, and even with some coaches, it's just really fulfilling, and it makes me want to go out and play 100% every game.
That's what football's all about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Cody, now you're a veteran of this program, so you've had the old regime, the new coaching staff. Herm's been kind of in that same little transition. He's been here for both.
Yeah.
But you, like Coach says, every team has a 1-year shelf life. How's this year been for you with this new / old group?
It's been great, honestly. I like always with a coaching change, there's a little bit of worry and a little bit of thoughts going on in your mind when it first happens. But Coach Vigil and his staff were able to close that door, and I don't get to hang out much with the offensive coaches. Don't get to see that side of the ball very often. But speaking for the defensive coaches, I think it's some of the best things that have happened to me in my college career is the scheme and the new type of defense that Coach Foskey has been able to bring in, and learning the game of football in a completely different light that I have never learned it in before. And then just as far as the culture goes, yeah, I just feel like this group of guys is a lot closer than it has been in years past. Feel like these guys will really go to bat for you and really, really go to war for each other.
And these assistant coaches, these new assistant coaches, the only thing they're really lacking is energy, right? They're They're the most energetic group of assistant coaches I think I've ever seen. Sometimes you got to kind of dial them down a little bit, don't you, Coach?
Every game, it's like I have to yell at the referees, and then I have to yell at my assistants to stop yelling at the referees. So
It's my job.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, we are a rambunctious group. There is no doubt about it. But I really believe that you can't have great team chemistry unless you have great staff chemistry. And so it's something that, my wife and I work really hard at, is making sure that we are all pointing and going in the same direction, not just the coaches, but the coaches' wives and our families. And we try to make sure that we're getting together outside of this place. We want to hang out with each other. And so we do a lot together, and like, it's real, and I think when it's real and it's genuine, people gravitate towards it, and couldn't ask for a better staff and a better team. So,
Okay, got another question here dealing with recruiting. They want to know, does your phone ring a little bit more the Monday after a win like that with kids saying, you know what, I think I do want to be on board?
I mean, you're constantly recruiting, and we're constantly evaluating, and we're constantly trying to find the right pieces for.
I guess probably they're probably wondering since it was the Mesa game and you're probably going head to head with them, do you flip anybody on a game like that?
I mean, we had quite a few recruits there on Saturday. I think we had, I think we had over 50 recruits there on Saturday, and some really good football players, guys that we've offered. I tell them the same thing I'll tell you. They're going to have a lot of opportunities. Go where you feel like it's real. Go where you feel like it's genuine. Go where you feel like you can see yourself being with or without the coach that's there. And I think, we've got something very special, very, very special. And I think the future is extremely bright here. And CSU Pueblo for a very long time has been a very special place, because of what Coach Riston has done here and what these players have done here in the past and how much they've bought in. And so that is easy to sell. That the tradition, the history, the facilities, the support, all of that is easy to sell. What it comes down to is it going to be who you want to play for? And do they have the right degree offerings? Is it the right culture for you to fit into? And so for us, it's about selling who we are and what we're about and what we believe in and what we're going to do every single week, and obviously for me, the biggest thing is I want to build men. And so every single week we're doing a Built for Life, and we're taking time away from football to talk about things that don't necessarily matter in football. And I think all of those things matter, and so that for us is, to answer your question, long story short, we did get a commit today, so that's a good thing.
I saw Coach's tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's fired up, it's very easy to see.
Yeah, we got a good one out of
Texas.
Out of Texas. Yeah.
Well, that leads me into now, Cena. When you came up here, did you have some doubters in your little community saying, "Why are you going there?" Now are they saying, "Well, I see why you went there."
They
Have
are
you had
actually.
any of that?
They kind of flipping a switch now. At first, they're like, "Why are you going all the way to Colorado?" Because I had another school up in Oklahoma, East Central, that had just offered me the week before. They were like, "Go there; it's closer to home." But I might visit. I came here after Coach spoke with Coach. I looked at my dad. I'm like, "I'm coming here." And I just knew off the rip that I wanted to be here, and I knew what this program had to offer. And I knew I could be like fulfill my fullest potential coming here as a player.
And what better recruiters for your program or players like that come 100%. Up here and go, holy cow, and then they send that message back to their groups and that circle just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
100%. Your players are your best recruiters, and that's the beautiful thing about what we're establishing is in our culture. We want our players to have as much to say. If we bring kids up on a visit and they don't fit who we are, who we want to be, we need to know that.
Right.
And we try to do all of our homework before we get them on campus to make sure that they are.
The vetting process.
Exactly. But there's some things that kids are good at hiding some stuff,
but not from other players.
Exactly right. Yeah. And they can see through it pretty quickly and say, this guy's going to be a good fit or he's not. And because ultimately I tell them all the time, this is not my team. Whose team is it?
It's ours.
It's theirs, and so that's a big piece.
Yeah, plus you get a chance to be on the radio.
Hang out with
radio
Jim and Joe.
show. Jim and Joe here on a Wednesday
I'm sure
night.
this is the highlight of Coach Veal's week every week. I think he likes.
I look forward to it.
I think chewing foil, scratching
something like that.
As soon as I get done with the game, I'm like, when's the radio show?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's already thinking about what can we talk about? What can we talk about? What do you guys want to do? What do you want? No, he's not like that. Sometimes he forgets he's on the radio.
All right, we thank everybody for sending your questions in on the notice on our early show. We'll be back next Thursday, so we'll have more questions next Thursday. But it was good. I thought we had some good questions here tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll come back. We'll talk about this week's matchup against South Dakota Mines. This just in. This could be a tough ball game. We've been saying that.
Very good team.
Could be a good tough ball game on the road, and we'll find out.
Dr. P's in the house.
There he is.
Oh,
Good
he's
job.
a cameo.
All right, we'll come back after this timeout. We'll talk about South Dakota Mines here on the Phil Vigil Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
It's the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves Coaches Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, joined by Thunderwolves head coach Philip Vigil.
And welcome back. Final segment here. Phil Vigil Show. ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. Brought to you by Rustler Implement. Southern Colorado's tractor headquarters. They're specializing in Case IH, Kubota, and New Holland. Come visit them at both locations out on the Mesa here in Pueblo, plus their Rocky Ford location. Well, Phil, the South Dakota Mines Ball Club. You look at do the old comparative score thing. You kind of look through. They've had some impressive victories. They've had a couple of perplexing, I thought, losses. But all in all, they're pretty solid.
They're a very good team.
And they got a good quarterback.
They've got a great quarterback. They've got a great receiver. They do a lot schematically defensively. They do a lot schematically offensively. They play extremely hard. This is a very good team, and not just if you look at the scores, but if you go look at the stats. Yeah, we are right next to each other in almost every statistical category. You know, whether it be scoring or passing offense, passing defense, rushing defense. Like we're right next to each other in almost every statistical category, and so. We know on Saturday, you know, it's going to be a dogfight. We got to make sure that we're at our best. We've been preparing all week to be at our best on Saturday, and they're a good team. They're a well-coached team.
One thing you notice about them in a game, they may fall behind, but they don't go away, do they? They compete the entire ball game, and you can see the scores. The game against Mines, they came back on them a little bit. Against Western, came back on them a little bit. So even if they're a hard team to just, you know,
put away. They're not going to quit.
No,
absolutely not. Yeah, they believe, you know. And again, I think Coach Floor has done an unbelievable job of establishing a great culture. I mean, this is the first time they've had back-to-back winning seasons since 84, 85 or something like that.
Right.
And there's been some really good coaches that have come through South Dakota Mines that have not done what he's done. And so they're going to be ready to play on Saturday. I know that for sure. And so we've got to make sure that we are at our best as well.
Well, we mentioned the quarterback. Pretty dynamic what he can do back there in the pocket. Plus, he's able to roll and he put pressure on you on the edge as well.
Oh, I mean, he does a great job throwing the ball. He does a great job making plays when things break down, and they'll run him in certain situations, you know, where they want to gain an extra hat in the run game, and they move number 5, their receiver, around all over the place. And so they're doing a lot with their formations, which makes it hard on defenses because you've got to prepare and plan for every formation, not just plays. And so they're very difficult to defend on offense. They're very difficult. They've got a couple tailbacks that are really good players as well. I mean, they're a good team.
Well, Cody, you hear all this. I'm sure defensively you guys say, you know what, we need to have a stellar effort against this team to give our offense a chance to do their thing, but we can't afford to let down.
Yeah, exactly. Going into every game, it's just the mindset that we need to go out and do what we do best, and that's get 3 and outs and create turnovers. And we know if we can get off the field and get our offense on the field, that we know they'll go down there and score. We have complete faith in them. We just know that we got to go out there and just play our best game of the year so far and completely dominate them.
Well, what's the discussion in the D-line room when you've got a quarterback like this and the things he can do? Do you take extra care on certain things you don't want to do as opposed to what you do want to do?
Contain. Don't let him out the pocket. Keep him in the pocket. And
it's almost like a vice, and you want to squeeze him.
Yeah, exactly. Make him throw. Make him make bad decisions, and just limit his explosiveness as a player. And like Coach said, he's a great player. He does a lot of things really well. But for us, our entire game plan, honestly, is to kind of take his athletic ability out of the game and make him be an actual passer and see if he can beat us in the air.
Well, Phil, for you offensively, what do you look to exploit what they do defensively?
Well, they're very multiple defensively. You know, they're going to be in an odd front, and so they do a lot of stunting. They do a lot of blitzing. They play multiple different coverages. They do a really good job on defense. And so, again, for us, you know, we've got to make sure we're efficient on offense. We've got to take care of the football. That is going to be an extremely important factor for us, is taking care of the ball. And we've done a pretty good job of that, knock on wood, the last couple of weeks. We've got to continue that as we go in there on Saturday. But as always, we want to establish a run, and we want to let our guys go to work on their front 7 and try to make some people miss.
Well, you talk about establishing the run. So now, are you going to be at center or tackle on Saturday? Do we know?
I'm going to keep it confidential for this game.
Oh, real close to the vest here.
All right. I saw the little, there's like a little signal there, a little Vegas signal.
All right. Well,
don't tell them. somebody may be listening. But,
Hey,
but
if
you'll be
they're
ready.
listening, good for them. Welcome. How you doing, Rapid City?
Oh, they're listening.
Oh, they're listening.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, going into a game, like, do you prepare both? You know you're going to have both chances.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm
I've
sure
been-
you
yes,
probably study both scenarios, don't you?
Yes, sir. I've been working both positions this week, so just mentally and physically prepared for either position.
All right. We got any passing game combinations with you on the goal line to sneak out and get a touchdown pass?
tackle eligible. There you go.
You know what? Maybe we'll work that in for next week.
Ah,
Maybe next week.
Well, what we
Maybe
did
next
work
week.
in was Cody on the 2-point conversion. That has to be fun.
Side hike.
Oh, yeah. Little side hike and take it on into the end zone.
Yeah. First points I've ever scored in football. So that
Wow.
was,
In college, see?
in any
How
any
about that,
level,
though?
yeah.
I mean, you from Pee Wee, Bantam,
Yep.
middle school, high school?
Yeah, so came off the field, told Coach Vigil that was the highlight of my career right there.
He actually did. He said, that was the highlight of my career. And I said, we got to change that.
Oh,
Exactly.
That was a mic drop for Cody Ramming, that 2-point conversion.
I think the most impressive thing was the catch.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best
Great
part of that
catch.
play.
We talked about, I mean, I go, he's 6'7" and
Stabbed
needed
it.
all of it.
Yes, he did.
And
Yes,
then,
he did.
Well, and also, this is a little different environment. Are you familiar with
I
their
am.
stadium? Have you been there before,
I've
or you
not
just
been
or
there.
have you heard? You've gotten the story about it.
Oh, yeah,
It's
we
like
know.
the drive-in theater with a football game going on.
The third downs is going to be loud.
Yes,
It's going to
the
be
horns
loud.
honk.
Honking the horns and the,
Oh, yeah.
and they're right behind you guys, or they used to be. I don't know if they're
They are.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
the visitors
Yeah,
are on
exactly.
the, on
And
Yep.
it's-
the so
Yep.
it's kind of crazy. And I don't know if did they tell you about the stadium where the cars are parked like a drive-in theater. It's just the first time we went there, we were like,
what is
what
going on
this?
here?
I thought we were in the wrong place. We
yeah,
weren't.
we do on Monday afternoons. We do our opponent preview, and so I'll go over, stadium. I'll go over what the weather's supposed to be. I mean, we try to cover everything, and so that way we're prepared. No matter what the weather is, we always know it's what.
Near perfect.
Near
Near
perfect. That's
perfect.
exactly right.
We've heard we got the near perfect story. So our radio shows every week. Or
Near perfect.
Yeah, we've
That's
been near
exactly right.
perfect a number of times this year. Oh my God, the adversity has been incredible. But oh well, it's working out well. Any final thoughts, Phil?
Just proud of this team, proud of their growth. We got to continue that on Saturday against a really, really good opponent who's going to be fired up. It's their senior day. I know they're going to be well coached. I know they're going to be ready, and so it's going to be a battle. We got to go to work.
All right, we're looking forward to it. We'll have the ball game for you. Remember, it's a noon start now in Rapid City on Saturday, 11:30 pregame right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. We'll have the game for you. Joe's actually flying in Saturday morning?
No, I'm
Big
going
time.
Friday.
Oh, you're flying in Friday? Okay, big time in us.
Hey, I don't get the state money. I have to do my expense, and it costs
Okay.
me less to fly, rent a car, and stay in a hotel than it does to drive.
All right.
So what would you choose?
Well, you'll
I'm not
fly in.
bougie like you, so I probably
Oh.
take a Greyhound or something.
Soft.
Ben and I and Dr. P, as he calls, we're going to have a little fellowship.
And
a
one of them little
drive,
state
a little
cars
bit.
and one little
Yeah,
Toyota
exactly. So we'll
Priuses?
be there. But we'll make it on up there. All right. Game time, 11:30 pregame, 12 o'clock noon kickoff. We thank Phil Vigil. We thank our guests, Cody Ramming and Zenon Chappell. Our producer and engineer tonight has been Aaron Kinnischtzke. Thank Ryan Howard and everybody here from ThunderZone, and, of course, our sponsor, Rustler Implement. For my partner, Joe Cervi, for the coach, Phil Vigil, I'm Jim Brooks, for Ben Greenberg as well. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Ben.